What's up, everybody? I think it's about time that I do a updated collection tour just to show what we're dealing with here, because I've been getting a fairly decent amount of more ES here. Plus, I moved into my own apartment. So let's just go ahead and get the ball rolling, and we're going to start with the radios that are non-operational. So we'll start from the top here. Right now we have the Radio Shack 12991. It's just fine. It works just fine. It's just I don't have a power cord for it at the moment. The power cord was destroyed by my cats at home, and I don't have the money to keep buying double A's for it. So until I can get a power cord for it, it'll just stay here. Next to that, the Midland HH54VP. Also don't have, well, I do have a power cord for it, but the wireless battery that was in it died. It wouldn't charge, and I don't have another battery for it just yet. So occasionally I'll put the power cord in the side and let it run, but it is pretty loud. Dropping down a notch, we have two WR120Bs. I got them on eBay with the WR100 for, I think it was $10 for all three. So I couldn't really complain too much about the faceplates. The WR100 didn't work. It didn't alert for anything. Even on, I messed with the same codes and everything, it would not alert for anything. So it's retired actually down there. And then we have the Radio Shack 12993 handheld, probably the rarest radio I own. I usually try to keep batteries in it. That's my go-to whether for on the go as well as power outages. Going down a little more, side of my Michael Clump stuff. This was definitely a treasure. So my local Goodwill has been getting quite a lot of weather radios in recently. If anything, I bought just a couple more WR100s, but I also got another one that's operational that I'll show you in a minute, which you have seen in a couple videos. But this is probably gold right here. It's not a rare radio by any chance. It's another Midland WR100 version 3. However, I did break the seal, just to open and clarify, but it's new in the box. I have the power cord out on the WR100 in the bathroom. It's new in the box. Thing is immaculate condition, so I just thought it was a cool little collector's item. Shove this back in here real quick. But yeah, I mean, $4 for it, I could not complain at all. Down here we have my first WR120, which, as we all know, suffered a power surge and is no longer operational. It wouldn't turn on. We have the 12262, which was my first Radio Shack radio, which is recently retired. Speaker blew finally, and it does not receive alerts anymore. It's just too distorted. And we have the WR100 that came with the two 120s up here that just doesn't work at all. So now we'll move on to the operational radios. In my living room, I have an AlertWorks EAR10. It only alerts for my county because it's the loudest radio that I have. It's basically just for me and my roommate and anyone else who would be over. If there is severe weather, this thing will definitely alert them, and I have it silent on weekly tests. That way it's just, there for precautionary reasons. And there's another EAR10 that is actually broken, but does still work, sitting by my bed for the exact same reason. It's the loudest radio I own, and it's only going off for my area. Weekly tests are silent on it. I got this one off of, eBay for like $10. Dude sent it to me with a broken antenna, and then that later went to the weather snooze button was cracked, and whenever I hit it one time, not actually hit it, but went to push it, the whole thing broke. But I mean, reaching in there, still gets just fine signal, so it's just gonna be my bedside radio. But for now, let's move on to the main setup. I know this looks different from my weekly test video I just did earlier, but the bathroom I actually just changed to another WR100 version 3, just so I have one of the WR100s in use. This was one I got from Goodwill for like $1, and it does work. It's gone off for a couple alerts. I just never put it out because I never really saw a reason until I decided I wanted to redo my setup. On to the main attraction here. Starting off is this guy. Is a version 4 WR300. I got it also at Goodwill for about $5. I'd always been wanting WR300, but up until the recent years, they were way too overpriced because it's a pretty high quality Midland radio, honestly. I mean, it's not one of the rare ones by any means, but I'm just happy to actually own one. Plus, it has AM and FM radio, so I can capture some FM alerts on that. Next, we have the Radio Shack 12521, basically the younger brother of the 12262. Fun fact, when ordering the 12262, I actually originally ordered one of these off of Amazon. This was what was the picture, because I wanted just the all black one instead of the silver one. But they sent me a 12262 instead. That was fine. I eventually found this one on eBay for like $5, and I figured, hey, why not have the twins? And that's when you saw it in both wall mounted back at my old house. You know, and a couple times you saw them here recently. I usually try to keep them right next to each other, up until this one was just on my desk because the 12262 was showing signs of failure. I got the 12262 out just last week, and it was going pretty strong, and it finally died. So we still have the 12521 going. I'll get another 12262 eventually. It's just kind of like a whenever I get to it type deal, but honestly, it's nothing too bad. Next is the Eton ZoneGuard. I have mixed feelings about this radio. One, it's kind of out of place considering most of the setup. Bitch is loud. It'll definitely alert you. My only complaint is that it likes to, and I'm using the actual power adapter for it, but sometimes it'll like to short out just a little bit and like turn itself off and back on, as if you unplugged and plugged it back in, and then it'll switch from voice mode to tone, and it'll just constantly beep. And no matter, as you saw in that one weekly test video, no matter how many times you hit snooze or hit weather band on anything like that, it would not stop. So I just ended up unplugging it. I didn't use it until then. Since then, up until recently, I decided to get it back out because I started getting more into my EASs here. And then, last but not least, is my favorite weather radio I own so far, is the 12519. There's a pretty cool story behind this radio, actually. Back whenever I actually had a Radio Shack in town, I only had a WR100, and I was faced with a decision because they were going out of business. I had two options. I could either use the $60 I had to buy a camera to actually record my alerts better, as well as do any other YouTube stuff I want to do, or I could buy their display model of their 519. My dumbass chose the camera, and I didn't get another chance to buy a 519 until years later, when I got my first job, and I found one of these on eBay for about $30, which was the cheapest I'd ever seen one of these go for on eBay, so I picked it up immediately. Absolutely love the thing. It's got the Skywarn, well, maybe. Well, you know it's there. It's got the Skywarn Spotters network on it. Oof. You know, FM radio, AM radio, you can do all sorts of stuff on this thing. It's by far my favorite radio. This is the main radio I go to when I'm capturing, like, FM radio alerts. I can probably get the statewide monthly tests on this one now. I just haven't gotten to it yet. With that, I also got the TV that I record all my TV alerts on with the, excuse the mess, Spectrum receiver, because Spectrum actually does TV EASs. And then, as you guys saw in the weekly test video today, the good old gaming setup that I also use to record my radar EASs, where I'm just monitoring different NWR stations and sometimes our relay stations in the Emergency Alert Society, and just capturing what I can while having a radar image. I'll have OBS Studio on this with all my huge scene and everything, with the alert scroll, emergency alert system, stuff like that, and I'll have the radar over here. But that's pretty much it. I actually forgot to mention in my truck that's in the shop, I actually do have a couple radios sitting inside of it. I have that Radio Shack 12 to something. I forgot what it was. It was one of the older ones. I have a First Alert WX27, I think it was. and another WR100. None of them work. They're just there. I forgot to bring them home. I do plan to expand the collection here pretty soon. I'll probably actually get some radios wired up and going on that little stand right there. And we'll just kind of see what we get. But yeah, that's an updated weather radio collection video.